Hello everyone. Thought I'd give you a few updates to the things that I've done with the boat over the last 6 months or so. It's July now, so I've been fishing with it for a little while, but I haven't actually done a walk around to show you what I finished over the winter, so here goes. So some of you may have seen the other video. This is my 1990 bass tracker. Did a walk around video in the fall. And I like this boat really well, but one of the things that I really didn't like about it was the carpet. Not just because the carpet was old and torn up, but when you're dealing with cut bait, things get really messy, and when it rains it never dries out. And so I wanted to get rid of the carpet and put a non-skid coating in it. And that coating is called Skid No More. It paints on. See if you can see that texture. It's a rubberized coating, although it feels pretty hard. You can actually leave a thumbprint in it if you really try, but I wouldn't want to run my knuckles over it, but it feels real comfortable to your feet, and I mean, it doesn't hurt real bad. I wouldn't want to do it all. Wouldn't rub my knuckles on it too much, but it's a nice durable coating. It's pretty thick. It's kind of like a truck bed liner. You might get to an area where you can see that texture better. There you go. There you go. Now you can kind of see the texture a bit better. It's thick, and it took quite a few coats to get it the thickness that I wanted. And for any of you guys out there that are wanting to do the same thing to your boat, it took about 3 times as much paint as the manufacturer said it would. Now, this boat is all aluminum decks and hatches, and what I found is there was one piece of wood that I did need to coat, and it coated much easier than the aluminum. Now, the aluminum seemed like it took 3 times as much to get it coated properly, because all the little rubber particles that make up the grit in it seemed like they pushed around a lot, and it just, to make it look like I wanted it to look nice and even, it just took a lot more coats than I expected. But the end result is very, very nice. And did post some pictures over the winter with these hatches, but when I took the carpet out of the hatches, the hatches didn't fit anymore. So I ended up having to line everything with aluminum angle, which I think looks, pretty nice actually. Everything's riveted on. Some people disagree with me, but I like the rivets a lot. I think they look nice, and I like that good tight compression fitting. And to give the hatches a little bit nicer feel, just a little bit of a D-shaped, what do you call that, weather stripping. Just stuck it right to it. Makes the hatch sound nice and professional when you close it. Did that all around. Really wasn't sure how it was going to turn out when I started, but I'm pretty darn pleased with it, actually. Made some other changes. I talked about these before. These are the Driftmaster T-bar system. Very, very handy, very, very well built, strong. But I had one problem. I was attaching them to a bass tracker, and the point at which I attached them right here is not solid, as far as it's not a square tube. It's hollow underneath, and it flexed. Now the T-bar didn't flex at all, but down here in the metal part of the bar right here that I attached it to, that whole thing would flex back and forth, and it caused me to have to figure out a way to sturdy that up so that they would be really strong. I came up with this $5 engineering project. I took a really big PVC, and it's not actually attached to the T-bar at all. The T-bar actually still moves and is attached just the same way it was before, but now this big PVC tube keeps it very, very strong, and it's tied to the back with a couple of screws. That's the only thing holding it on, other than the pressure against the pipe right up here. And now I can really yank on it. I mean, it's really strong now. I can put a whole lot of weight into this thing and it just doesn't move. Now again, it's not the Driftmaster was built really strong, but just the area I tied it to wasn't as strong. If I had to do it over again, I would probably tie it to a sturdier area, such as maybe right here would be really strong area, but it's got quite a tilt to it, and that's why I didn't do that. But the end result is I really like the placement. They're very, very strong now, and it didn't cost very much money at all. It literally cost $5, so pretty happy with that. Let's see, what else have I done to the boat? Let's see here. Well, here's something quite large I put in the boat. This used to be 2 seats, and my intention was to build a giant live well, and so that's exactly what I did. Big toolbox. Nice lockable storage area where I can keep a whole lot of stuff. Built it and put it in and made it watertight. Got a nice little pump down there. You're seeing 2 pumps because I've got my fill pump that I put over the side of the boat, and it pumps water in and pumps water out. But I like having this giant storage space in here that I can double as a really big live well. The nicest thing about it though isn't even that it's a nice live well, but rather that makes the seating position much, much higher. And when I'm on the Mississippi River, it gives me a much better angle to view down the river. I'll show you what that looks like. Because one of the problems I was having was I was sitting down so low in the regular seat that I was having a hard time seeing the river in front of me. And now, as you can see, as I sit here, steering wheel's in a pretty good place. Might be a little bit low, but I really don't mind that so much. But now my legs aren't all squashed up because I'm sitting in too low of a seat. It's very, very comfortable. It lessens the fatigue on my legs as I get up and down in the boat all day long, because I don't have near as far to stand up from a sitting position. I just kind of lean forward and stand up. And man, I tell you, I really, really like this seating position. I've had a couple people question me about the fact that I didn't put any seats on it, and about whether or not the metal was uncomfortable to sit on. And I can tell you, it's really not. It's very comfortable. It also gives a really nice extra bit of deck space to stand up and walk around on. Whereas before, when I had those seats there, it really was a tripping hazard. I tripped on them several times. I had a buddy trip on them, and frankly, I just didn't think that was a good idea anymore. So anyway, I ripped it all out and put this big box in, and I really, really am happy with it. The downside is there's no back support. So what I did do is I took one of the original seats, which is that one right there. That one used to be the driver's seat, and I kept the carpet on it, and I put it in the position you see it here. But what I didn't do is I didn't attach it, because the carpet's on it. It never moves unless I decide to move it. But open that seat up, position it a little bit, and now I can sit right here in the boat, watch my rods, and enjoy the evening or the day. This is the best sitting position in the boat. I can't believe I didn't think of this sooner, because I went out a couple of times without it, and after I dropped it back in there, I thought, this is fantastic. So this seat's never leaving the boat. And I like the fact that it's where it is. I can move it around if I need to. I can still get to the hatch that's behind it, right there. And then usually what I do is I put a red Coleman cooler right in that space right there. And it's worked out really, really well. Another thing I did with the boat, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, there you can. Okay. I took out the floors, and I stripped the floors down, and I ground them down and got them all clean, and then coated them with the non-skid coating, the Skid No More stuff. And then I put them back in, and I took a small paddle drill bit and just, well, I drilled my pilot hole for the rivet, and then I took a small paddle bit and just ground away a little bit of the Skid No More coating so it was bare metal, and then I took and put in rivets to rivet the floor down. Now previously the floor had been put in with a bunch of screws, and then it was all covered up, and I couldn't get the floor up or figure out how the floor was attached for anything. And if I ever need to get under the floor, I had to tear up the carpet or something to get to it. So instead I put in all these rivets afterwards. I think they look pretty nice, but better than that, I can always get the floor up without damaging the coating if I have to. Ooh, this is cool. Now, I don't know what this boat was originally. It might have been aluminum decks originally, but I tend to think that it had wooden decks, and that the first owner replaced the decks with these aluminum decks. The problem was he wrapped carpet around this edge right here. Now it looks thick right now because I put this angle on it, but in reality it was just the edge of the aluminum, and it was kind of sharp. Now when the carpet, he wrapped the carpet around it, but after the carpet wore away, it was just a great place to bruise your shin or hurt a fish if you pull a big fish in the boat and it slapped the side of it, and it was just kind of a sharp edge. So I took this very small aluminum angle and some small rivets and riveted that to there, and I really think that, well, it classes up the joint, frankly. I like it a lot. Let's see here, what else did I do? Oh yeah, so I knew that up here I was going to have anchors and other things. So I got this really inexpensive rubber mat from the Wally World, and I think it was about $14, and I put it in here before I put this angle in and riveted the angle down so it can't come out. Now it's not attached at this end in case I need to, for whatever reason, lift it up, but give a little extra protection when I'm slamming anchors down on the deck and all that. I know that the Skid No More is a very durable surface, but after I put all that work into it, I really didn't want to see it chipped off by the edge of an anchor. So that's why I did that. I put these in last year. These, I've got quite a few of them on the boat actually. I think 12 of them. Let's see, what is that? 8? Yeah, 12 of them. Yeah, so 12 of these Drift Masters. These are fantastic. Like having second hands in the boat. They do what they're supposed to do really well, but they're great to have around for just supporting any other item you need extra hands in supporting. I've used them. They're so strong, I've used them to tie up the boat many, many times as an extra cleat when I couldn't get to a cleat. They're extremely strong. Very good product. I like those a lot. This is my newest anchor. I'm going to do another video kind of showing you the progression of anchors I've gone through. This one, this design, my wife calls the paper clip, which is apt. It looks like a paper clip, but I designed it this way so that these rings right here, if it ever got stuck, these rings will slide back down this way, or they'll come all the way around and back to here. I can always pull the anchor out backwards if need be. Now, some of you guys might remember, if you've seen the other video, I had this other giant anchor in here. It was 20 pounds with a big chain on it. It had 6 tines on it. And I've since decided to call it the Punisher, because the happiest day of your fishing day, happiest moment of every fishing day, is the time when you see the edge of that anchor chain come up out of 40 feet of water. Man, that other anchor will hold you no matter what, but it's back-breaking work to get it off the bottom of the river. So I decided to try this lighter design out. I welded one up out of 3/8 first and tried it out, and it worked, but it just didn't have quite enough weight. But this is welded out a 1/2 inch, and it works really well. I'm very pleased with it. It's not very heavy. It doesn't have a lot of water resistance, so when you're pulling it up out of the water, you're not getting a whole lot of extra tug from the river. And it comes out of the water real nice, and when you throw it down, it does hold. It holds in just plain old sloppy mud. And I really, looking at it, I wouldn't think that, but it really holds pretty well. So far I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't had it yet an extremely heavy current, which is why I'm still keeping the Punisher around. But for most situations, I think this is going to be just fine. Anyway, I'll do another video showing kind of a progression of some different anchors that I've gone through a little bit later. And of course, I haven't done anything with this. This is the trusty old motor guide. I think it's getting towards the end of its life, but so that might be a next year project. Hopefully not, but you know, it might be. Might be time to swap out the old motor guide. It makes kind of a funny sound now when I run it. Oh, there's one other thing. Very cool stuff. Let me show you. Oh well, hold on before I get there. I know this is dumb, but it's one of my favorite parts of the boat. It's built out of the floor of my buddy's boat, Jason Mathena's boat. He pulled the floor out of his boat when he was redoing his over the winter, and he gave me a couple of pieces of it, and I used polished it up and cut it into a big circle, and then I used the floor drain in my garage as a template for the holes, and then just drilled out all these holes and made my own floor drain, because the plastic one I had before just cracked. I didn't feel like buying a new one, and I had the aluminum and the drill bit, so ba-boom. Floor drain. Works really well. Okay, here's my newest favorite thing. Right there. Aha! Focus. There we go. It's new Humminbird 598 CI HD. Got down imaging, side imaging, and maps. Although I've just got the basic maps on it. I haven't purchased any other maps. I don't think I'm going to. I don't really care about the maps as much. But the side imaging seems to work out really well. I took it out on the river last week to try it out for the first time, and what can I say? It's night and day from the old Eagle Cuda 242 that I had, which was fine in lakes and stuff for just seeing, you know, the depth and a couple of details and some fish. But this thing shoots out 240 feet off of each side of the boat, and with the side imaging, I can of course reduce that or zoom it in or out or whatever. And man, I tell you what, you know, color. I was really pleased with how well I was able to spot the fish. And the GPS, I think it's got like a 50-channel internal GPS, which I found out is very handy at finding your way back at 2 in the morning in the dark. Just follow the line that it plotted out over the course of your fishing trip, and you can avoid the rocks. Anyway, now of course something like this is the 5-inch screen, would not fit on this tiny little dash that is on the Bass Tracker. So, got a ram mount for it. Very easy to install and use, and I tell you what, that is really good quality mount. It looks kind of chintzy online because it's all curvy. You think it's all made out of plastic, but it's actually all metal, I believe. And the balls that are the articulating balls on it are articulating balls. The ball joint sections of it are covered in rubber. It's very sturdy. You know, it doesn't look like it, but it really is. Let me see if I can tighten this up. I just put this on here. But yeah, So it moves around a little bit, but you have to feel it. It's actually pretty sturdy. Just sort of nice soft rubber mount, but it doesn't seem to move. And it gives you nice access to the fish finder. But I really couldn't be any more pleased with that. In addition, I can raise it up even higher if I want, but I can turn this whole thing around now and view it from the front of the boat or wherever I am in the boat. So again, can't say enough good stuff about this so far. Of course, I've only had it on the water once, but very, very happy with it. So really, that's pretty much it. So we've got a new box to sit on, and all the carpet's out of the boat, and the hatches are all finished up, and if I just had a motor with fresh paint on it, it would look all really nice. The rest of it I'm very, very happy with. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know if you want to see any more or have any questions about some of the things I did to the boat. Just let me know. Thanks.